What if you could become the kind of leader people want to follow, not because of your title, but because of your influence? What if you didn't have to wait for a promotion or a new job to start leading, but you could start right now, right where you are? What if you learned to lead yourself first and in the process transformed your career, your team, and your life? You don't have to be a manager to be a leader. You don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to wonder if you're ready. Leadership starts on the inside, and it's available to anyone who's willing to grow. Today, you'll learn what it truly means to develop the leader within you. You'll learn how to influence others, clarify your priorities, build unshakable character, create positive change, and serve people with a vision that inspires. You'll get practical exercises, honest stories, and coaching you can use to lead from wherever you stand. So let's dig in, grab your notebook, open your heart, and let's build your leadership legacy. Let's start with the foundation, self-leadership. Before you can lead anyone else, you have to lead yourself, your habits, your mindset, your reactions, and your standards. When I first started in sales, I was waiting for someone to tell me what to do. I'd follow the crowd, do just enough to get by, and hope for a lucky break. But nothing changed until I took ownership. I started setting my own goals, holding myself accountable, and refusing to blame anyone else for my results. That's when my numbers and my confidence skyrocketed. Here's what matters most if you want to grow, not just as a salesperson, but as a person. First, it's all about self-discipline. That means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Anybody can work hard when they're motivated. The real professionals show up and put in the work on the tough days when nobody's watching and there's no instant reward. That's where the champions are made. Next is personal accountability. You've got to own your wins and your losses. When things go right, celebrate, but don't get cocky. When things go wrong, don't make excuses or point fingers. Step up, take responsibility, and ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? That's how you earn respect from others and from yourself. Then there's daily reflection. Take a few minutes at the end of every day to check in on your progress and your attitude. Did you move closer to your goals today? Did you handle challenges with the right mindset? This is where you can catch yourself slipping before it turns into a slide. And finally, keep a growth mindset. Always be looking for ways to improve. The best never stop learning. They read, they ask questions, they seek feedback, and they're not afraid to try something new, even if it means failing a few times along the way. I want you to do this, not try, but actually do it. For there is no try in leadership, only do. Every night before you go to bed, write down one thing you did well today and one thing you'll do better tomorrow. It's simple, but over time, you'll see your growth in black and white. That's how you build momentum, and that's how you become legendary. One day, one decision, one honest reflection at a time. Which area do you find most challenging in self-leadership? Self-leadership isn't about being perfect. Let's get that out of the way right now. It's not about never making mistakes or always having it together. It's about being brutally honest with yourself, knowing where you're strong, admitting where you're struggling, and refusing to settle for less than your best. It's about setting high standards, not just for your results, but for your effort and your attitude. Anybody can show up when things are easy, but true leaders show up on their hard days. When you're tired, when you're frustrated, when nobody's watching, and there's no applause. That's when your character is really built. It's making the choice day after day to do what needs to be done, to hold yourself accountable, and to keep moving forward no matter what. That's what separates the good from the great. Self-leadership is a daily commitment to growth, to honesty, and to showing up, especially when it's tough. That's how you become someone others want to follow. Hey guys, I know a lot of you have been wanting to get to the next level. What I want you to do right now is text me. This is my personal cell. All you have to do is text me who you are and what you need help with to get to the next level. So go ahead, text me right now, 205-952-6224, and I will help you crush it. As well, I got a bonus for you. Scan this QR code and get into our free community and unlock some courses for you as well. Let's crush it together, and let's get back to the video. Now let's talk about influence. Leadership isn't about wielding authority. It's about the ability to influence others in a positive way. Think of it as a ripple effect. Small actions can create great waves of change. Whether you realize it or not, people are watching you, your clients, your teammates, even your managers. The way you show up sets the tone for everyone around you. There was a time at the dealership I worked at that we were in a serious slump. Morale was in the gutter. Everywhere you looked, people were complaining. Negativity was spreading, and it felt like nobody believed things could get better. It would have been easy to just blend in, to keep my head down and ride it out. But I made a choice. I decided I was going to be the first one in the building every morning and the last one to leave at night. I made it my mission to always have a positive word for somebody, whether it was a simple good morning, a compliment, or just a bit of encouragement when someone was struggling. I refused to let the negativity set the tone for my day, and I wasn't going to let it infect the team if I could help it. You know what happened? Slowly things started to shift. People noticed. A couple teammates started coming in earlier too. The complaining turned into problem solving. Sales picked up. The whole energy in the building changed, all because one person decided to lead by example, to show up with the right attitude, and to set a new standard for what was possible. That's the power of self-leadership. You don't have to wait for someone else to fix things or for the permission to step up. Sometimes all it takes is one person making the choice to do things differently, and that ripple can change everything. Here's what really matters if you want to lead by example and make a lasting impact. First, it's all about consistency. Your actions speak way louder than your words. It doesn't matter what promises you make or what you say in meetings. People are watching what you actually do day in and day out. If you want to earn respect, you've got to show up the same way every time, especially when it's tough or inconvenient. Next is integrity. Doing the right thing isn't always easy, especially when no one's watching or when it might cost you something. But that's exactly when it matters most. Integrity is choosing honesty, fairness, and doing what you said you do, even when it's uncomfortable. That's how you build trust, one decision at a time. Then there's encouragement. It's easy to lift people up when things are going well, but the real test is when someone's struggling. Be the person who notices and who says, "Hey, I see you, and I believe in you." Sometimes your words can be the spark that gets someone back on track. And finally, humility. Nobody gets it right all the time. When you mess up, own it. Admit your mistakes. Learn from them and move forward. People respect a leader who's real, who's willing to say, "I missed it, but here's how I'm going to do better." I want you to identify one way you can set a positive example this week. Maybe it's helping a teammate with a tough task, sharing a recent win to inspire others, or simply owning up to a mistake and showing how you're going to fix it. Remember, leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being real, being consistent, and always looking for ways to lift others up. That's the kind of example people want to follow. How do you want to be remembered by your colleagues and clients? You don't need a fancy title or a nameplate on your door to be a leader. Leadership isn't about your position. It's about your influence. And influence comes from three things: your actions, your attitude, and your authenticity. It's how you show up every day, doing the work, setting the standard, and being the example others want to follow. It's the attitude you bring even when things get tough, staying positive encouraging others, and refusing to let negativity drag you down. And most importantly, it's about being real. People can spot a fake from a mile away. When you're authentic, when you own your strengths, admit your struggles, and let people see the real you, that's when they trust you. And that's when they're willing to follow your lead. So don't wait for permission or a promotion to step up. Start leading right where you are and with what you have, and watch your influence grow. That's how real leaders are made. Leadership isn't just about your own results. It's about multiplying your impact by helping others grow. The best leaders create a culture of growth, encouragement, and high standards wherever they go. Let me share a story that really drives home what leadership is all about. I once mentored a new rep who was having a tough time. He was struggling to find his footing, missing his numbers, and honestly, you could see the confidence draining out of him day by day. Now, I could have just handed him a script and told him to memorize it, but I knew that wasn't what he needed. Instead, I sat down with him and got real. I shared my own failures, times when I missed the mark, deals I lost, mistakes I made early in my career. I told him what I learned from those moments, how I picked myself back up, and how every setback was a setup for a comeback. I encouraged him to set small, achievable goals, not just sell more, but make 5 extra calls today, or follow up with every lead by noon. And every time he hit one of those goals, no matter how small, we celebrated it. I made sure he saw his own progress step by step. You know what happened? Within a few months, he wasn't just hitting his numbers, he was crushing them. But even better, he started turning around and helping the next new sales rep, sharing what he learned and encouraging them the same way. That's the ripple effect of leadership. It's not just about your own success. It's about lifting others up and watching that impact multiply across the whole team. That's how you build a culture of winners. Here's what really matters when it comes to leadership and making an impact on your team. First, it's about mentoring. Don't keep what you've learned to yourself. Share your knowledge, your experience, and your lessons, especially the hard ones. When you open up and help someone else avoid the mistakes you made, you're not just improving their journey, you're strengthening the whole team. Next, make it a habit to celebrate wins. Don't just wait for the big milestones. Recognize the small victories too. When someone hits a goal, overcomes a challenge, or just shows up with a great attitude, call it out. Let people know you see their progress. That kind of encouragement fuels momentum and keeps everyone moving forward. Then there's giving feedback. Be honest, but also be specific and constructive. Feedback isn't about criticism, it's about helping someone grow. Say, here's what you did well, and here's one thing you can work on. When you give feedback with the goal of growth, people receive it as a gift, not a slap. And finally, focus on creating a legacy. Your impact isn't measured just by your own results, but by the difference you make in others' lives. When you mentor, encourage, and help people grow, your influence lives on long after you're gone. That's how you build a true legacy. Who in your life could benefit from your encouragement or leadership right now? The best leaders don't just focus on their own results, they multiply their impact. They're like a spark that catches fire, creating a culture of growth, encouragement, and high standards everywhere they go. When a true leader walks into a room, you can feel the energy shift. People start thinking bigger, pushing themselves a little harder, and believing they can do more, just because of the example that a leader sets. It's not about being the loudest voice or having the fanciest title. It's about lifting others up, challenging them to grow, and never settling for average. The best leaders celebrate every win, big or small, and they're quick to offer a hand when someone stumbles. They set the bar high and then help everyone else reach it. That's how you build a team that doesn't just hit goals, but crushes them. That's how you leave a legacy, by multiplying your impact through the people around you. When you lead this way, your influence goes way beyond your own performance. It lives on in every person you helped, encourage, or inspire to be better. That's real leadership. Let's go deeper for a second, because this is where real leadership starts to take root. See, John Maxwell says, true leadership is grounded in a handful of key principles. And I want to break these down for you in a way that's practical and real. First, it's about influence. See, leadership isn't about a title or authority. It's about the ripple effect that your actions have on the people around you. Every small, positive choice you make can create waves of change. The way you treat a client, the encouragement you give a teammate, even the attitude you bring to work each day, those things spread further than you even realize. Next, focus on your priorities. Ask yourself, what are the top 3 priorities in my life right now? If you're not clear on your priorities, you'll end up chasing whatever's urgent instead of what's truly important. When you know what matters most, you make better decisions, set stronger boundaries, and lead with purpose. And then character, which is non-negotiable. Lead with integrity, honesty, and authenticity. Charisma might get you noticed for a moment, but character is what earns people's trust and keeps them loyal for the long haul. People follow leaders they believe in, not just the leaders who sound good. Then there's positive change. The best leaders are agents of change. It all starts with a vision. Paint a clear picture of what you want to achieve and invite others to join you. When you can communicate that vision and get people excited about it, you become a magnet for talent and energy. Problem solving is a big one too. Leaders don't run from challenges. They face them head on. Create an environment where people feel safe to share ideas and get creative. Remember, every setback is just a setup for a comeback. The problems you solve today become the stories you tell tomorrow. Your attitude is contagious too. Start each day with gratitude and determination to spread positivity. When you show up with energy and optimism, your team feels it and feeds off of it. Then serving people is at the heart of true leadership as well. Ask yourself every day, how can I serve others? Shifting your mindset from what can I get to how can I give will transfer your influence and your results. Next is vision, which matters just as much. Paint a vivid picture of the future, something worth working toward. Inspire your team to see what's possible, and then roll up your sleeves and help them build it. Now, self-discipline is what turns those big dreams into reality. It's the little habits done day after day that add up to real sustainable growth. You can't lead others well until you can lead yourself. And then finally, commit to personal growth. Be a perpetual learner. The more you invest in your own development, the more you have to offer those around you. When you grow, your impact multiplies. So I want you to write down right now your top 3 priorities for this season of your life and one way you'll serve someone this week. Then take a minute to reflect. How can your attitude and your vision create a positive change for the people around you? That's what real leadership looks like in action. Write down your top 3 priorities for this season of your life and one way you'll serve someone this week. Awesome. Now take a minute to reflect. How can your attitude and your vision create a positive change for the people around you? See, that's what real leadership looks like in action. I want you to remember leadership isn't about a title, it's about influence. And I know I've said it a bunch. It's about leading yourself first, setting the example and lifting others as you climb. Every small action, every positive word, and every act you serve creates a ripple that can change your world and someone else's as well. Keep raising your standard, keep leading by example, because legendary starts with you.